working as an assistant professor at Electronics Engineering Department, Walchand Institute of Technology. Today we are having the session on data analytics, data pre-processing and the analytics flow in our data analytics process. So after having this session, students will be able to evaluate importance of data in our modern era. They can illustrate various types of data types, evaluate the quality and insights derived from the data analysis. Students will be able to understand the complete data processing and the flow of analytics. So these are the contents of our presentation. So I will start with first of all definition of the data analytics, then its importance and use. Then I will go through the types of data, then data processing flow and the analytics flow, some tools and techniques which are required for the data analytics, and the final part is conclusion. So what is data analytics? Definition of the data analytics. The term data analytics refers to the science of analyzing raw data into make the conclusions about the information. Means many of the techniques and processes of the data analytics have been automated into the mechanical processes and algorithms that work over the raw data for the human consumption. Definitely the data analytics can be used for the different entities such as businesses to optimize their performance, to maximize their profits, and this can be done by using the software and the other tools which will be used to analyze the raw data. So what is the importance and what are the uses of data analytics? So the data analytics consists of many users, and the most prime user is the finance industry. It also be used in our agriculture industry, banking domain, retail, government, and various applications are there. So some of the main importance of the data analysis which are mentioned below. The data analyst targets the main audience of the business by identifying the trend and the patterns of the data set. It can improve the business to grow and optimize its performance. So by doing the data analysis, it shows the areas where the business needs more resources, products and money, and where the right amount of interaction with the customers is not happening in the business. So in that area or in those areas, the data analysis plays a very vital role. Along with this, the valuable information which is taken out from the raw data can bring into the advantage to the various organizations for examining their present situations and predicting the future outcome. So from the data analytics, the business can get the better targeting to the right audiences. It will get the audience spending habits and which will help to grow the business, and definitely as per our budget and the customer traditions and based on the customer seasons, definitely the price and the variation in the price with the help of the data analysis can be done in a very efficient manner. So the next type, that is what are the types of data. Basically data can be categorized into the three categories. The first one is structured data, which is organized in a rows and columns. Means here the data is stored in the rows and columns format, for example relational databases. Second one is the unstructured data. Here the data that doesn't follow any fixed kind of a format, for example images, audios, text kind of a data. And the third one is which is the semi-structured type of a data, in which data is not entirely organized but some kind of a structurally it is organized, for example XML files, JSON files. Now the most important part, that is the flow of data processing, which can be considered as a data processing flow. We can see here in the diagram, with the help of which we will come to know that how the data is processed into the information. Means data processing is the method of collecting the raw data and translating it into the usable information. It is usually performed in step-by-step process by the team of data scientists and the data engineers in an organization. So this is the cycle of the data processing, which starts from the collection, preparation, input, processing, output and the storage. Each step which is taken in the specific order, but the entire process is repeated in a cyclic manner. Now step by step we are going to see each and every step. Generally there are 6 main steps which are involved in our data processing cycle. The first one is the collection. The collection of raw data is the first step of the data processing cycle. Here the type of raw data is collected has a huge impact on the output data which is produced. Therefore, raw data should be gathered from the defined and the accurate resources so that the subsequent findings are valid and usable. So the examples of the raw data, it may include the figures, websites, cookies, profit loss statements of the company's user behavior, and various types are there. Second step is the preparation, data preparation, or you can consider it as a data cleaning also, is the process of sorting and filtering the raw data to remove the unnecessary and the accurate unit. The purpose of this step is to remove the bad data, that is redundant or incomplete or incorrect data, so as to begin assembling high quality information, and that can be used as the best possible way for the business intelligence. Third one is the input. In this step, the raw data is converted into machine readable form and fed into the processing unit. This can be in the form of a data entry through the keyboard, scanner, and various input sources. Step 4 is the data processing. In this step, raw data is subjected to the various data processing methods using machine learning and the artificial intelligence algorithms to generate the desirable output. This step may be slightly vary from the process to process depending upon the source of a data. Step 5 is the output. The data is finally transmitted and displayed to the user in a readable form like a graphs, tables, vectors, audios, videos, documents, and this can be stored for the further processing. The last step is the storage, in which data processing, where the data and the metadata are stored for the further use. This allows the quick access and the retrieval of the information whenever needed, and also allows it to be used as an input in the next data processing cycle directly. So can you recall, guys, what are the steps involved in our data processing cycle? Yes, definitely. These are the 6 steps which we are considering for the data processing cycle. Now we will move to the data analytics flow. We can see in the diagram here also around 6 steps are there. So one by one, right from the defining the problem statement to the presentation of the data, we will see in a detailed way. The step 1 is we need to define the problem, or we need to define the research problem. Here the analyst has to understand the task and the stakeholders' expectation for the solution. The stakeholder is a person that is invested their money and the resources to the project. The analyst has to find the root cause of the problem in order to fully understand the problem. What kind of a questions I should ask as a data analyst? The first and important question is, what are the problems that being mentioned by the stakeholder? Second one is, what are the expectations for the solutions? Now second step is to prepare or to collect the data. This step includes collecting the data and storing it for the further analysis. The analyst has to collect the data based on the task which is given from the multiple sources. The next step is the data cleaning, in which various processes are used for clean the data, and for that there might be duplicate data, there might not be which are in the proper format. These are the unnecessary data which can be cleaned with the help of various techniques, and this data is further stored into the Excel and the SQL format. The step number 4 is to analyze the data. The clean data is used for analyzing and for the identifying trends. It also performs the calculations that combines the data for the better results. The fifth step is to visualize the data. Nothing is more important for compelling the data rather than the visualization. So the data is now transferred, has to be made it into the visual like graphs and the chart. And the last one is we need to represent the data. The goal is to facilitate the clear understanding of the complex information, making it accessible to both technical and for the non-technical audiences. Effective data presentation involves thoughtful selection of visualization techniques based on the nature of the data and for the specific message which is intended. So these are some tools like Python, R programming with the help of some libraries which can be useful for the data analytics flow. And the final part is the conclusion. The data analytics flow is a structured process that transforms raw data into the meaningful insights to support strategic decision making. EDA, that is exploratory data analysis, helps to uncover patterns, trends, and relationship through the statistical analysis and visualization. This comprehensive flow ensures the business and organization that can make informed evidence-based decisions to drive effectively in a growth. These are the references which I have used. Thank you guys.